The truth about Jen and Barack is that there is no truth.
There is no
untrue.
truth.
You travel abroad with jars of olives.
Yes.
Okay. You have a Ziploc bag filled with your dead therapist's ashes. That one's a little bit true, right?
It's a little true.
Yeah.
Have you ever wondered how a single rumor can ignite an entire media circus, pulling in everyone from Hollywood's top stars to former occupants of the White House? It might sound too wild to be true, but that's exactly what happened when whispers first emerged that beloved actress Jennifer Aniston and ex-President Barack Obama had embarked on a clandestine romance. Overnight, social media platforms were ablaze. Fans were in an uproar, and gossip outlets rushed to publish breathless headlines suggesting the two were carrying on a secret affair right under the public's nose. Even though this speculation seemed outrageous, it spread too rapidly to ignore, fueled by cryptic hints and half-baked leaks that turned the rumor into a runaway phenomenon. In a world where any topic can trend in seconds, all it took was a single provocative post for millions of people to start asking, what if it's actually true? Many of the earliest mentions of this alleged relationship sprang up in the obscure corners of social media, anonymous forums, rumor-focused websites, and small gossip blogs that thrive on sensational buzz. Typically, these spaces see outrageous claims that vanish within hours, but this time, the story had a life of its own. A few vaguely worded posts suggested that Jennifer Aniston, one of Hollywood's most treasured actresses, had been glimpsed in a private setting with Barack Obama. Some posts claimed they were spotted in deep conversation. Others insisted the two had attended an intimate dinner. Every iteration added new, unverified layers. The presence of Secret Service members, coded messages on social media, or an unlikely friend of a friend who supposedly saw the pair looking suspiciously cozy at an exclusive party. Almost immediately, screenshots circulated across platforms, spiraling into a major trending topic. Strangely, the rumor rocketed from obscure chat groups into the mainstream faster than anyone could keep track. Dozens of social media influencers weighed in, offering their takes and fueling the chatter. Some insisted it was nonsense, comical at best, while others found the mere possibility electrifying. After all, Barack Obama is no ordinary public figure. He was a two-term president celebrated for his calm composure and widely admired partnership with Michelle Obama. Meanwhile, Jennifer Aniston is forever linked in the public mind to her iconic role on a long-running sitcom and her status as a box office draw. The collision of two such recognizable brands, the statesman and the America's sweetheart actress, was too irresistible to dismiss, even if all evidence pointed to the rumor being absurd. But the frenzy only deepened when a bizarre detail entered the narrative: the presence of a so-called psychic who claimed to have seen the relationship. The story goes that during a small gathering of friends in Los Angeles, a spiritual medium alleged they sensed a profound connection between Jennifer Aniston and someone in politics. Before long, that speculation morphed into direct references to Barack Obama, spurring a wave of conspiracies that the actress and the former president had been involved for months, if not years. This bizarre psychic twist hooked people's curiosity. Suddenly, every snippet of possible evidence became a clue. Cryptic jokes Jennifer made in interviews, an odd half-smile on Barack's face during a random press appearance, or the mere fact that both individuals had been in the same city at the same time. In an era where people thrive on reading between the lines, these flimsy coincidences were spun into a massive tapestry of sensational claims. Social media's role can't be overstated. Platforms like X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram erupted with memes, comedic videos, and heated debates dissecting every angle. Some joked about the supposed logistics of a former president secretly meeting a Hollywood A-lister. From the hush-hush corridors of private jets to hidden beach resorts under tight security. Others took a more earnest tone, analyzing official schedules and public appearances, sure they'd uncover inconsistencies if they looked hard enough. Hashtags like Obama-Aniston affair and Jen and Barack trended, sometimes ironically, other times as if users truly believed the rumor. The mania mirrored a broader cultural phenomenon. In the digital age, it takes just one sensational notion to commandeer collective attention. And this particular idea, mixing political stature with Hollywood glamour, had the perfect recipe for mass intrigue. Inevitably, those close to Jennifer Aniston were pulled into the drama. Various entertainment sites began quoting unnamed friends who claimed the actress was amused, yet also uneasy about the rumor. After all, it wasn't just idle gossip, it involved one of the most high-profile couples in modern American history. The rumor had real potential to cause tension, misunderstandings, or at least an ongoing barrage of questions from the press. While Jennifer maintained a resolute silence for a time, her breaking point came during an appearance on a popular talk show. In a lighthearted segment, the host flashed a mock magazine cover featuring the actress and Barack Obama under the headline, "Secret Romance Exposed?" Jennifer burst into laughter so intense she nearly teared up, exclaiming that she'd never been alone with Barack in her life, let alone engaged in any romantic entanglement. The audience roared, finding it impossible not to share in her sense of absurdity.
Of all the calls you get from your publicist where you're just like, oh no, what's it gonna be? Or the email saying, some cheesy tabloid is gonna make up a story, and then it's that.
Yeah. Does your
I was not
publicist
mad
ever
at
go
it.
like, well, I know it's not true. I
Yeah.
just don't know if everybody knows.
Well, it is untrue. I know Michelle more.
Yet, ironically, that very outburst of hilarity was seized upon by the rumor mill. Some fans were convinced her laughter seemed just a bit too strong, as if she were overcompensating. What if she was acting? This comedic denial pushed the story to yet another level. Outlets began running lines like, "Jennifer laughs a little too hard," or "Anniston denial raises more questions than answers." Conspiratorial fans insisted that public figures often downplay real controversies with humor, attempting to deflect serious inquiries. Others regarded her laughter as the most obvious proof that the rumor was downright laughable. Either way, the conversation continued, with people dissecting her tone, her body language, and even the timing of her comedic response. Every nuance was magnified and debated, ironically giving the rumor even more staying power. But if Jennifer Aniston's reaction made waves, Barack Obama's rumored response unleashed a new kind of media scrutiny. The rumor mill painted him as privately enraged, stressed by the audacity of a scandal dragging his name and marriage through the mud. Many pointed out that Obama, known for his measured temperament, rarely addressed personal attacks or baseless gossip directly. However, the tabloids insisted that behind the scenes, he was in turmoil, making frantic calls and demanding advisors find a way to quash the story. Some gossip websites even quoted close sources who claimed he was furious that Michelle Obama's name was being tossed into the discussion as a supposed victim. Still, no official statement ever materialized, perhaps because giving air to an outlandish rumor risks legitimizing it further. The cycle continued, fueled by speculation about an uncharacteristically flustered Barack Obama, with commentators parsing every cameo he made on camera for signs of hidden agitation. A significant reason the rumor gained so much traction was the simultaneous swirl of gossip about the Obamas' marriage. Well before the Anniston angle emerged, there had been chatter about Michelle Obama's supposedly strained relationship with her husband. Reports circulated that Michelle was traveling alone more frequently, skipping high-profile events, and focusing on her own projects or personal breaks. One of the biggest triggers was her absence at certain public ceremonies, like a funeral for a prominent political figure, where many believed she'd normally appear beside Barack. The tabloids leaped on these absences, deeming them suspicious. They portrayed Michelle as a woman possibly on the edge, fed up or disappointed. They hinted at tensions behind closed doors, painting a picture of distance growing between the former first couple. Into that background dropped the rumor of a secret fling with Jennifer Aniston, and it seemed to complement the narrative of a rocky Obama marriage.
And to have a little more time with her.
Right.
What also helps, though, about children. And I don't know about your spouse, Michelle, when our girls were growing up, that was priority number 1, 2, 3, and 4.
If Michelle was truly stepping back, perhaps it was because she had discovered her husband's betrayal. Or so the story went in the scandal-hungry corners of the internet. Social media enthusiasts devoured this version of events, interpreting every late-night talk show quip, every solo public appearance by Michelle, and every subdued expression on Barack's face as proof that the two were on the brink of a breakup. Some revisited old photos of them side by side, claiming their once glowing smiles had become stiff, forced. Armchair analysts dissected Michelle's body language in older interviews, comparing it to newer ones, determined to pinpoint an exact moment the alleged rift took hold. When the mainstream press largely ignored the rumor due to a lack of credible evidence, the spotlight fell on tabloids, gossip bloggers, and YouTube commentators. Many employed sensational headlines that played fast and loose with the facts, scattering disclaimers in fine print that few bothered to read. Some articles featured doctored photos, images of Barack and Jennifer that were actually taken at different places and times, spliced together to give the illusion they'd been side by side. Some of these collage photos were shared so widely that countless casual observers ended up believing they were genuine. The disclaimers, if present, were buried at the bottom of the article. Meanwhile, respectable fact-checkers stepped in to debunk the claims, pointing out discrepancies between the rumored timeline and the actual schedules of both individuals. Yet, fact-checking couldn't match the speed and allure of sensational headlines that teased a sprawling conspiracy or shocking revelations just waiting to be uncovered. One cannot overlook the comedic but potent role of the psychic friend at the center of many retellings. Reportedly, this individual was a guest at an intimate gathering of Jennifer Anniston's circle, someone known for reading tarot cards or speaking cryptically about hidden destinies. The story goes that this psychic had previously made accurate predictions in celebrities' lives. Thus, their credibility was considered high among certain groups. The rumor soared when it was claimed this medium had declared, with great certainty, that Jennifer's aura intertwined with someone not from the entertainment world, but from the political sphere. The secret they allegedly teased would shock the country if it ever got out. A short time later, that speculation conveniently leaked, and it wasn't long before Barack Obama's name surfaced as the supposed love interest. The entire scenario, though outlandish, proved too juicy for gossip lovers to resist. Suddenly, the presence of a psychic turned a typical tabloid rumor into a borderline surreal phenomenon, the kind that almost begs people to read more, click more, and share more. The rumor gained additional steam when some political commentators and personalities weighed in without outright dismissing it.
Our kids to thrive if everyone else around us was drowning. So my mother volunteered at the local school. She always looked out for the other kids on the block. She was glad to do the thankless, unglamorous work.
One well-known media figure, who also happens to have strong Washington connections, mused on her podcast that she'd heard credible chatter about Barack and Michelle Obama heading toward a divorce. She never confirmed Jennifer Aniston was at the center of this alleged marital rift, but her remarks gave new life to the speculation. People asked, if the divorce rumors are credible, maybe the Anniston angle has some truth behind it too. This is how the rumor found fresh oxygen. Legitimate figures talked about the possibility of tension in the Obama marriage, so those who wanted to believe in the secret romance used it as proof. Meanwhile, every fleeting moment of annoyance on Barack's face during public events was dissected as a sign of hidden turmoil. If he looked tired, rumor peddlers claimed it was due to the stress of concealing the affair. If he cracked a joke about relationships in general, it was recast as an indirect nod to the swirling talk about his personal life. Through it all, Michelle Obama's relative silence became another point of fascination. She hardly addressed the wild chatter, focusing instead on her own commitments, speaking engagements, philanthropic work, and time spent away from the relentless public spotlight. That low-key approach was interpreted by the rumor mill as evidence of heartbreak or a decision to maintain a dignified distance from her husband's alleged fiasco. People scrutinized her social media posts about personal growth or women's empowerment, often twisting them into cryptic commentary on the rumored affair. A simple mention of self-care or independence was interpreted as coded language about her marriage. The tabloids effectively turned every benign statement she made into a puzzle piece in an invented drama, and for a while, that narrative sold headlines. Meanwhile, Jennifer Aniston faced her own wave of assumptions. Rumor hounds scoured her recent interviews for any passing mention of politics or any subtle gesture that might tie her to Obama. If she joked about privacy, they saw it as confirmation she was hiding something. If she was photographed smiling at a red carpet event, the photos were inevitably shared with captions suggesting her glow was thanks to a secret romance. The actress's comedic reaction during that talk show appearance became a go-to reference. "She's laughing because she's caught," some insisted. while others argued it was the only sane response to such an absurd scenario. But none of that overshadowed the real question: how could such a high-profile affair, if it were real, remain buried for so long? Barack Obama is one of the most recognized individuals worldwide, and Jennifer Aniston can't step outside without paparazzi following her. Many logically concluded that any private meeting, let alone a full-on secret relationship, would be nearly impossible to hide given their combined visibility. On top of that, both are surrounded by watchful teams: Secret Service details in Obama's case, managers and publicists in Anniston's. The idea that every single person in those orbits managed to keep quiet about a truly scandalous affair seemed deeply unlikely. Still, logic and plausibility rarely deter a juicy rumor in our digital age. The narrative continued to pick up momentum because it tapped into universal fascinations. The possibility of a powerful political figure stepping outside his marriage, the prospect of an actress known for romantic comedy roles finding an unexpected partner, and the drama of a scorned Michelle. Even those who firmly believed the rumor to be false were often drawn into heated debates online, inadvertently giving it further visibility. The velocity of viral gossip can be perplexing. The more people debunk or argue about it, the more traction it seems to gain. It's a paradox that thrives on attention, no matter if that attention is supportive or skeptical. Tabloid covers shouting about Obama Anniston shocker or Michelle blindsided only exacerbated the situation, overshadowing attempts at rational discussion. Any denial, whether from Aniston's laughter-filled talk show appearance or from anonymous Obama aides, was boiled down to a single sensational takeaway: they're trying to cover it up. In this environment, even mockery can inflame rumors because public ridicule still keeps the story in circulation. The phrase, "where there's smoke, there's fire," is invoked so often that people assume repeated exposure to a rumor means there must be a kernel of truth within it. Eventually, more sober-minded voices pointed out the near-total lack of credible sourcing. No paparazzi photos validated the claims, no legitimate journalist, mainstream publication, or well-regarded news outlet produced any evidence beyond hearsay. Fact-checkers published detailed breakdowns, revealing how the rumor likely started as a single social media post and then blossomed through repetition. They traced false images to manipulated content. They showed that many insiders were likely fabricated. Yet none of this stopped the rumor from persisting in the corners of the internet that feed on sensationalism. In the midst of the bedlam, some took a step back to observe what was happening. They noted that the entire fiasco reflected a larger cultural phenomenon. Gossip in the digital age can spiral out of control in days, if not hours. People crave drama that merges Hollywood sparkle with political gravitas, especially if it offers a scandalous angle. The trifecta of A-list stardom, a former president, and a supposedly jealous spouse created a narrative with all the essential elements of a juicy soap opera. Once that machine starts turning, it's exceedingly difficult to power down. For all the hype, there's a pragmatic undercurrent suggesting the simplest explanation is the truest. Jennifer Aniston and Barack Obama probably never had any hidden romance. By all reputable accounts, Michelle Obama's occasional absences from events had benign explanations, such as personal scheduling or travel preferences. And Barack has continued his post-presidential work without any overt sign of marital strain. Jennifer Aniston's comedic roles, new film projects, and personal life remain in the public eye, with nothing to indicate she's secretly entangled with the former president of the United States. Most find it far easier to believe this was just another piece of internet folklore that spiraled into a global conversation. Yet the rumor endures, albeit in a subdued form as time passes. Some corners of the internet cling to the idea, weaving elaborate conspiracies that it's all part of a grand cover-up. Others have moved on to the next viral sensation, finding new controversies to obsess about. The affair tale remains a testament to how quickly stories spread when they involve people with massive name recognition. It's also a reminder that once a story goes viral, disclaimers and corrections lag far behind the initial wave of excitement. Many who first heard the rumor might still believe it, never encountering the fact checks or the comedic denials. Jennifer Aniston's best strategy, in many eyes, was to address it with laughter rather than outrage. Outrage can often inflame speculation, whereas a lighthearted dismissal makes the rumor seem silly. From the perspective of Barack and Michelle Obama, ignoring the chatter was equally effective.
We had your wife Michelle on the show, and she had mentioned that for about 10 years of the marriage, she really didn't like you.
Oh, man.
So asking for a friend, how do you get back in good graces? Again, for a friend. You got a pen so I can take notes?
Let me just say this. It sure helps to be out of the White House.
The more official responses they gave, especially if they were angry, the more people would suspect something was being concealed. By maintaining silence, they might well have robbed the gossip of some oxygen. Still, that hasn't stopped certain tabloids from persisting, always hoping for a slip-up or a moment they can misinterpret as confirmation. In the end, this entire episode highlights how swiftly misinformation can overshadow reality, especially when it involves big names who are widely adored or respected. One impulsive social media post can spark a chain reaction in which thousands of people, then millions, become convinced of something that defies common sense. In a crowded digital landscape, sensational stories outcompete less dramatic truths. For a time, it seemed the alleged Obama-Anniston romance could dominate social media, overshadowing actual news and overshadowing the personal lives of those involved. But like many internet-driven spectacles, it may not stand the test of time. Sooner or later, novelty wears off, and the rumor recedes into the background, making room for a new wave of speculation or scandal. If there's one lesson to glean from this, it's how essential skepticism is in an era of endless headlines, viral videos, and insider leaks. Not everything that trends is authentic, and not every story with 1,000 shares is rooted in evidence. While some can treat it as light entertainment, laughing at the sheer unlikelihood of a romance between Barack Obama and Jennifer Aniston, others might invest energy in believing, dissecting, and perpetuating it, convinced that where there's smoke, there must be fire. But those watchers might be chasing illusions created by the sheer velocity of online rumor mills. Could the story continue to morph, surviving with new details conjured from thin air? Possibly. The internet rarely lets a salacious rumor die quietly. There could be future exclusives claiming we're on the verge of discovering private text messages or an explosive tell-all interview. Yet so far, every claim has crumbled under scrutiny. The more you dig into it, the less evidence you find. And in the logic of gossip culture, that void of proof can itself be spun as proof of a powerful cover-up. It's an endless loop that enthralls some and frustrates others. However, for the rational observer, all roads lead back to the same conclusion. The rumored affair is almost certainly a wild fabrication, and any tension in the Obama household is more likely the invention of a rumor-hungry media than a reflection of real marital strife. Jennifer Aniston's life and career continue as usual. Barack Obama remains engaged in public speaking and philanthropic projects, and Michelle Obama is respected for her own strong public presence. The comedic talk show denials, the swirling social media memes, and the outrageous psychic storyline are more reminiscent of a late-night skit than an actual scandal. When we look back on it all, perhaps the most telling detail is how the rumor mushroomed from a fleeting mention to a full-blown phenomenon. It underscores the potency of modern gossip culture, demonstrating yet again that sometimes the most absurd stories make the biggest waves, precisely because they're absurd. People click on shocking headlines before they check facts, and once a rumor gains enough momentum, refutations struggle to catch up. This cycle was on full display here. A single spark in an online forum ignited a blaze that consumed social media feeds, tabloid covers, and talk show discussions. The conclusion for many? Always question sensational claims, especially when they promise an explosive twist involving an adored actress and a historic political figure. Now that the initial burst of excitement around the affair story has subsided, the saga will likely linger in the back pages of entertainment blogs for a while longer, occasionally resurfacing whenever new angles or claims pop up. But inevitably, the internet's collective attention will move on to fresh scandals, new rumors, and other fleeting obsessions. Perhaps someday the so-called psychic will emerge for another cameo, insisting they knew all along how it would turn out. Perhaps tabloids will revisit it when they're short on headlines. In the grand scheme of things, though, it may become just another punchline in the history of improbable rumors. If there's a final takeaway, it's that such rumors reveal both our fascination with celebrity and our susceptibility to online sensationalism. It pays to remember that behind every enthralling headline is a real person, sometimes an entire family, caught in the crossfire, whether they're a globally renowned actor or a former president. These stories highlight how quickly reputations can be tangled up in claims with no substantial evidence. And they prompt us to be more cautious, more inquiring, and more aware of how easily anyone can be swept into a whirlwind of speculation. No matter how persistent the rumor might be, the most likely truth is straightforward. Barack Obama and Jennifer Aniston never had a hidden affair. Michelle Obama is not quietly divorcing her husband because of a secret fling. And the comedic denials offered by Anniston aren't covert signals. They're just a star's reasonable response to a bizarre storyline. The rumor itself, for all its drama, is probably nothing more than a symptom of our click-obsessed world, where tall tales flourish as long as people keep refreshing their feeds, eager for the next shocker. In time, this too shall pass, replaced by the next big rumor that enthralls and entertains before drifting into the digital ether, leaving behind a cautionary reminder that not everything trending in the spotlight is what it seems.